Right, this is day one of the conjugate program I'm running. I haven't done the video on it yet. I'll probably do the video about conjugate training, upload that first, then do this. I'm just going to focus on the main max effort lift, because again my phone forever to load things up. Right, I'm doing 10-inch deadlifts. That is basically, I've got deadlifts with on a 3-inch blocks.
Succulent meals of fish and eggs and vegetables that complement a stable diet. Alex and pored over the books that Strangways had borrowed from the Jamaica Institute, books on the tropical sea and its denizens by Bean and Allen and others, and on submarine hunting by
Jinx it, that felt pretty easy.
When he set out to cross those 300 yards of sea, he was determined to do it expertly and to leave nothing to chance.
Don't want to go too far ahead of myself on the maximum lifts suggested. Your maximum effort.
He had to keep out of reach of the law. He guessed that somehow the forces of the sea hardest to do the big man's work. And it was on these that he concentrated.
All will be explained.
Murder by shark, barracuda.
I have read the Book of Methods by Louis Simmons. I'm taking some of those ideas into this style program I've written up. Again, we're not at West Side, we're not doing West Side, we're doing conjugate.
On the next day, he started to strain another critical
conjugating.
Every morning he swam a mile on the beach before breakfast, and then ran back on the firm sand to the bungalow. At about 9, they would set out in a canoe, the single triangular sail taking them fast through the water up the coast to Bloody Bay and Orange Bay, where the sand ends in cliffs and small coves, and the reef is close in against the coast. Here they would beach the canoe, and Quarrel would take him out with spears and masks and an old underwater harpoon gun on breathtaking expeditions in the sort of waters he would encounter in Shark Bay. They hunted quietly, a few yards apart, Quarrel moving effortlessly in an element in which he was almost at home. Soon the two learned not to fight the sea, but always to give and take with the currents and eddies, and not to struggle against them, to use judo tactics in the water.
That was okay.
On the first day, he came home cut and poisoned by the coral, while a dozen sea experiences.
I did go from
Quarrel grinned and treated the wounds with methylate.
110 to 140.
Then,
So
as every evening, he massaged Bond for half an hour with palm.
not necessarily the amount that I've suddenly lifted, more the jump I took in the weight.
Camouflage of fish, machinery for changing colour through the bloodstream. He also had never known fish to attack a man, except in desperation, or because there was blood in the water. He explained that fish are rarely hungry in tropical waters, and that most of their weapons are for defence, not for attack. The only exception, he admitted, was the barracuda. Mean fish, he called them. Fearless, since they knew no enemy except disease, capable of 50 miles an hour over short distances, and with the worst battery of teeth of any fish in the sea. One day they shot a 10-pounder that had been hanging round them, melting into the grey distances and then reappearing, silent, motionless in the upper water, its angry tiger's eyes glaring at them so close that they could see its gills working softly, the teeth glinting like a wolf's along its cruel, underslung jaw. Quarrel finally took the harpoon gun from Bond and shot it badly through the streamlined belly. It came straight for them, its jaws on their great hinges wide open like a striking rattlesnake. Bond made a wild lunge at it with his spear just as it was on to Quarrel. He missed, but the spear went between its jaws. They immediately snapped shut on the steel shaft, and as the fish tore the spear out of Bond's hand,
with maximum effort work, again, it's written in the book of methods that you should allow 2 to 5 minutes between your sets. Obviously, taxing your central nervous system a lot heavier when you are using maximal weights.
When Coral cut its throat and twisted the spear out of its jaws, they found bright, deep scratches in the steel. They took the fish ashore, and Coral cut its head off and opened the jaws with a piece of wood. The upper jaw rose in an enormous gape, almost at right angles to the lower, and revealed a fantastic battery of razor-sharp teeth, so crowded that they overlapped like shingles on a roof. Even the tongue had several runs of small, pointed, recurved teeth, and in front there were 2 huge fangs that projected forward like snakes. Although it only weighed just over 10 pounds, it was over 4 feet long, a nickel bullet of muscle, hard flesh. We should know this, said Coral. But for you, I've been in hospital for a month and maybe lost my feet.
Bit smoother than the first 2, but that was a 10 kilogram increase over the previous one, which was a 30 kilogram jump.
Hope not. I haven't got a face to spare. By the end of the week, Bond was sunburned and hard. He cut his cigarettes down to 10 a day and not had a single drink. He could swim for 2 miles without tiring. His hand was completely healed, and all the scales
Chuck another 10 on.
had fallen from. Coral was pleased. You ready for surprise, Gun? He said. And I not like being a fish.
I'll see how this one goes up. If it goes up pretty smooth, I'll go another 10 key jump. If it doesn't, I'll go 5 keys.
I've got some good news for you, he said. Your friend Felix Leiter's going to be all right. At all events, he's not going to die. They've had to amputate the remains of an arm and leg. Now the plastic surgery chaps have started building up his face. They called me up from St. Petersburg yesterday. Apparently, I guess that there was access to the see-through wire.
I missed a bit of this.
Bars, as the robber's voice died down to
I do listen to audiobooks sometimes.
something stirring down there.
As much as I do like to read,
A hammerhead
it's just not enough time in the day.
with their sharper reactions. Pull me out,
Especially some books.
give me a break. Pull me out. I can't hold much longer. I'll do anything you want. Tell you anything. The robber's voice was a hoarse whisper of suffocation. What happened to Solitaire? Bond stared down into the frenzied eyes. The big man did it. Told me to fix a snatch. 2 men in Tampa. Asked for Butch and the lifer. Poor behind the Oasis. She came to no harm. Let me out, pal. And the American, Leiter, the agonized face, pleaded. It was his fault. Called me out early this morning. Said the place was on fire. Seen it passing in his car. Held me up and brought me back in here. Wanted to search the place. Just fell through the trap. Accident. I swear it was his fault. We pulled him out before he was finished. He'll be okay. Bond looked down coldly at the white fingers, desperately clinging to the sharp edge of concrete. He knew that the robber must have got the bolt back and somehow engineered Leiter over the trap. He could hear the man's laugh of triumph as the floor swung open, could see the cruel smile as he penciled the note and stuck it into the bandages, vision hung and the body out. For a moment, blind rage seized him. He kicked out sharply twice. One short stream came up out of the depths. There was a splash, and then a commotion in the water. Bond walked beside the trapdoor and pushed the upright concrete slab.
I don't know.
It revolved easily on its pivot.
It's alright.
Just before its edges shut out the blackness below, Bond heard one terrible
Whether I take a 5 or a 10 key jump
A
now.
great pig was getting its mouth full. He knew it for the grunt that a shark makes as its hideous black nose comes up out of the water.
We'll
Its
see.
sickle-shaped mouth closes with rotting claws.
Why not?
He shuddered and kicked the bolt home with his foot. Bond collected the gold coin off the floor and picked up his boot. He went to the main entrance and looked back for a moment at the shambles of the battlefield. He reflected suspected that there was nothing to show that the secret of the treasure had been discovered. The top had been shut
Sometimes you just got to
fish tank under which the Bond had
jump in.
dived, and when the men came in the morning, they would not be surprised to find the fish dead in the tank. They would get the remains of the robber out of the shark tank, and would report
Yeah, sometimes you just got to jump in.
gun battle, and that there were X thousand dollars worth of damage which would have to be repaired before the Secretary could bring over his next cargo.
Especially if you feel like you're on a time limit. I'm on a bit of a time limit.
His work. Bond grimly shuts out the horror beneath the floor of the warehouse.
One of my kids is feeling a bit crook today, so I got phoned to school.
A small payment to be made on account of solitaire.
See, I've hopped up to 170. We'll see how that moves.
Chapter 16, the Jamaica version. It was 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Bond eased his car away from the seawall and moved off through the town to Ford Street, the highway to Tampa. He dawdled along down the 4-lane concrete highway through the endless...
Again, I don't want to talk too much about the conjugate method yet, because you've probably... you'd have seen the video by now,
He stopped at the
so you'll know most of what I'm talking about.
and ordered a double old granddad on the rocks. While the barman poured it, he went into the washroom to clean himself up. The bandages on his left hand were covered with dirt, and the hand throbbed painfully. The splint had broken on the robber's stomach. There was nothing Bond could do about it. His eyes were red with strain and lack of sleep. He went back to the bar, drank down the bourbon, and ordered another one. The barman looked like a college kid spending his holidays the hard way. He wanted to talk, but there was no talk left in Bond. Bond sat and looked into his glass and thought about Leiter, the robber, and heard the sickening grunt of the feeding shark. He paid and went out and on again over the Gandhi Bridge, and the air of the bay was cool on his face. At the end of the bridge, he turned left towards the airport and stopped at the first motel that looked awake. The middle-aged couple
I was really reaching the ends of the chalk.
music from Cuba with a bottle of rye between them. Bond told a story of a blowout.
Finances state at the moment, I've got to wait
They weren't interested.
until payday. Chalk doesn't normally cost that much, but
He
you
drove
know,
his car up to the door of room 5, and the man unlocked the door.
4 tubs for a
turned
tenner.
on the light.
But
There was a double bed,
that's still a tenner,
chest of
and if
drawers,
I'm a little bit
2
under
chairs,
par financially,
curtains, white and
it's
blue,
not a tenner I can justify.
and Bond put his bag down thankfully.
I'm going to save the chalk for the pressing days.
Threw his clothes unfolded onto a chair. Then he took a quick shower, cleaned his teeth, and gargled with a sharp mouthwash, and climbed into bed. He plunged at once into a calm, untroubled sleep. It was the first night since he'd arrived in America that did not threaten a fresh battle with the stars on the morrow. He awoke at midday and walked down the road to a cafeteria where a short-order cook fixed him a delicious 3-decker Western sandwich and coffee. Then he came back to his room and wrote a detailed report to the FBI at Tampa. He omitted all reference to the gold and the poisoned tanks for fear that the big man would close down his operations in Jamaica. The nature of things had still to be discovered. Bond knew that the damage he had done to the machine in America had no bearing on the heart of his assignment, the discovery of the source of the gold, its seizure, and the destruction it possibly of Mr. Big himself. He drove to the airport and called the silver 4-engined plane with a few
That felt
minutes
really
to
good.
spare. He left Leiter's car in the parking space. As
Yeah.
his report
Yeah, that was a good
told
one.
the FBI he would. He guessed that he need not have mentioned it to the FBI when he saw a man in an unnecessary raincoat hanging around a souvenir shop, buying nothing. Raincoat seemed almost the badge of office of the FBI. Bond was certain they wanted to see he called the plane. They would be glad to see the last of him. Wherever he had gone in America, he had left dead bodies.
Right.
Before he boarded the plane, he called the
So
hospital
definitely
in
not before
Petersburg. He wished
16
that
minutes.
Leiter was still unconscious, and there was no news. Yes, they would cable him when they had something
So
definite.
I did feel that.
It was 5 in the evening when they served
I've taken another 10 jump, so it's up to
the sun was
180.
low on the horizon. A big jet from Pensacola swept by, well to port, leaving 4 trails of vapor that hung almost motionless in the
See, the good thing about doing
would complete its training circuit and go
raised
to land
deadlifts on
back
boxes
to the Gulf Coast
is you are able to feel the slack go out of the bar.
Bond was glad to be on his way to the soft green flanks of Jamaica, and to be leaving behind the great hard continent.
So if you're on rack pulls,
The plane swept
there's
on
no slack. The slack's already out.
across the acres of jungle.
Whether that makes it easier or more difficult
Its wing lights
depends which way you stand, I suppose.
red in the gathering dark. Soon they were over Miami, the monster chunk traps of the eastern seaboard, their arteries ablaze with neon. Away to port, State Highway No. 1 disappeared up the coast in a golden ribbon of motels, gas stations, and fruit juice stands, up through Palm Beach and Daytona to Jacksonville, 300 miles away. Bond thought of the breakfast he had had at Jacksonville not 3 days before, and of all that had happened since. Soon, after a short stop at Nassau, he would be flying over Cuba, perhaps over the hideout where Mr. Blake put her away. She would hear the noise of the plane. Perhaps her instincts would make her look up towards the sky and feel that for a moment he was nearby. Bond wondered what they had done. But that would have to come later, when his work was over.
Excuse me.
Rise at the end of the dangerous road that had started 3 weeks before.
My technique for clearing some air.
After a cocktail and an early dinner, they came into Nassau and spent half an hour.
It's not exactly a very scientific one, but
the sandy patch where £1,000 million
or
of
is it?
frightened sterling lies buried beneath the canaster tables, and where bungalows surrounded by a thin skirt of screw pine and casuarina change hands at £50,000 apiece. They left the platinum whistle stop behind, and were soon crossing the twinkling mother-of-pearl lights of Havana, so different in their pastel modesty from the harsh primary colours of American cities at night. They were flying at 15,000 feet, when, just after crossing Cuba, they ran into one of those violent tropical storms that suddenly turn aircraft from comfortable drawing rooms into bucketing death traps. The great plane staggered and plunged, screws now roaring in vacuum and now biting harshly into walls of solid air. The thin tube shuddered and swung, crockery crashed in the pantry, and huge rain hammered on the perspex windows.
Good.
Gripped the arms
Take
of
that.
his chairs and his left hand hurt. Cursed softly.
Again, trying to work out now how many lifts I've done. I have 110, 130. No, I have 110, 130. 110, 140, 150, 160, 170, 180.
Orchid for your lady, now trimming in the icebox. These are all the safety belts and the life jackets with the whistle that the steward demonstrates will really blow. The cute little rescue lamp glows red.
Have I gone above my maximum on a 10-inch deadlift? I don't know. Standard is 175, so in theory I have gone over. It's really about how much your CNS can take, or should take, before it's going to start degressing. I'm going to go for one more, at 185, and cap it there, kill the video, do the accessories.
You're linked to the ground mechanics cares fingers in Nassau, just as you are linked to the weak head of the little man in the saloon who mistakes the red light for the green and meets you head on for the first and last time as you are motoring quietly home from some private scene. There's nothing to do. You start to
Skeptical about this next lift, because,
the whole of life is cutting through the pack.
well, when I look back on it, I'll judge it.
Grateful you're still alive as you suck the smoke deep into your lungs. Your stars have already
It
let
does
you
get a
go
bit difficult with my lot in the back.
Twimpered in the cold air of the world. Perhaps they even let you get to Jamaica tonight. Can't you hear those cheerful voices in the control tower that have said quietly all
It's reaching that moment.
Come in, KLM. Can't you hear them calling you down to come in, transparent, come in, transparent. Don't lose faith in your stars. Remember that hot stitch of time when you faced death from the robber's gun last night.
No choice but to cancel this video after this next
To
attempt.
remind you that being quick with a gun doesn't mean you're really tough. Just don't forget it. This Secret Service agent for the Caribbean, was at the airport to meet him, and he was quickly through customs and immigration and finance control. It was nearly 11, and the night was quiet and hot. There was the shrill sound of crickets from the dildo cactus on both sides of the airport road, and Bond gratefully drank in the sounds and smells of the tropics as the military pickup cut across the corner of Kingston and took them out towards the gleaming moonlit foothills of the Blue Mountains. They talked in whispers until they were settled on a comfortable veranda of Strangway's neat white house on Junction Road below Strangway. Strangway's poured a strong whiskey and soda, and then gave a concise account of the whole of the Jamaican end of the case. He was a lean, humorous man.
I'm glad I went for it. I'm killing this video quick, I'll talk about this later. See you on the other side.